What if I told you that girls with resting faces were actually the friendliest? Sounds insane, right? Well, after thousands, tens of thousands of interactions, I have noticed a pattern that will completely change the way you see hot, intimidating women. Most guys assume that a girl with a RBF is judging them. She's looking down on them, thinking she's too good for them. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some heads out there. That is true. However, the truth is, for the majority, that cold, standoffish look, 90% of the time, it's not aimed at you. It's aimed at herself. That girl who you're too intimidated to approach, she's currently in the middle of an insecure spiral, wondering if she looked fat in a recent Instagram story, why her dad never loved her, or why Timmy in the 5th grade told her that her nose looked weird. Her beauty blinds you. You see her walking down the street looking absolutely stunning, intimidating as with a face that's saying, I wouldn't even give Timothy Chalamet or whatever his name is a foot job. But that's your own projection of your insecurity talking. The reality is most of these women are far more receptive than you would think. And when you approach her, you're snapping her out of this internal dialogue that she's stuck in. So if you were to muster up the testicular fortitude in order to actually approach this intimidating woman, you'd realize pretty quickly after you say hi that she's super receptive, really smiley, and happy to have a chat. It can be really jarring when you realize this for the first time, that most of the time when someone has a resting face, it just means she's most likely having some pretty insecure thoughts in the moment that you see her expressing that facial expression. And this is where most guys up. See, they just assume she has higher value just because she's hot. Where in reality, most women have no idea how desirable they truly are. Well, unless they spend a lot of time on Tinder, then they probably think that they are more desirable than they actually are. But most women have no idea how beautiful they are or how desirable that beauty makes them. Because of her lack of awareness of her desirability, when a guy starts over-validating her, starts bending over backwards to impress her, putting her on a pedestal just because she has a symmetrical bone structure in her face, she instantly loses attraction and respect for this guy. And why is this? Because she knows she's just a human being. Like, she probably just took a massive dump, toxic enough to suffocate an entire small Vietnamese village. And then you're standing in front of her all of a sudden, acting like she's some goddess. She knows she's not. And that's weird for her and really off-putting. See, she doesn't want to be treated like some princess or goddess or put on a pedestal or worshipped in any way. She wants a guy who sees her for who she truly is. Flaws, insecurities, weird quirks, and all. Just as importantly, she's not looking for Superman herself. She's just looking for an average guy who is comfortable and confident in his own skin. A guy who doesn't treat her differently just because she's hot. You have to remember that she did nothing to acquire her physical appearance. And because it took no investment whatsoever on her part to acquire her, say, facial structure, when a guy is putting her on a pedestal because of this, she instantly just puts this guy in the category of dudes who have no standards, because you're coming at her essentially with the only standard you're looking for is something that she never even had to work for, or something that she just was born with. She doesn't respect it. And because women will judge men so much more on, say, their behaviors and their confidence, women assume that men look at them in a similar manner. So they hope or desire for someone to look at their behaviors or their confidence or what they've worked on themselves in order to acquire validation from guys. And when a guy validates her on things that are not her physical appearance, potentially just personality attributes of hers, she will appreciate these kind of compliments far more than when you just tell her that she's beautiful or attractive, because she's heard it a million times and she doesn't put that much importance on it, because for her, when she judges men, physical appearance is only one aspect of what she's attracted to. And she assumes that men judge women in a similar manner. Most women are somewhat aware of the fact that men put a little bit more importance on physical appearance. Most girls are somewhat aware of this, but they don't realize how important it is for us. And that's why they just don't respect us when we are looking at them as deities purely for their physical appearance. You should be coming into all interactions with the mindset of, okay, she's beautiful, but do I actually like this human being? And your job in an interaction is to find out whether you do like her, past the makeup and the physical appearance, looking a little bit deeper at her personality. Do you like this human being? Are you vibing with this person? Could you see yourself spending more time with this person? So my friend, what should you be getting out of this little rant? The next time you see a girl with a resting bitch face, instead of just assuming, oh, she's going to be a and she's not going to be friendly, she's not going to like me, she's going to reject me, instead think, I wonder what negative thoughts she's currently having about herself. Anyone who spent enough time around beautiful women knows that they are incredibly insecure, just like you, just like me. Everyone has a negative internal dialogue from time to time, and I find that women tend to have a more negative internal dialogue than guys do. And if someone is having negative thoughts about themselves, they're more likely to make an expression that is going to be less approachable than someone who's having positive thoughts. So just be aware of that. You cannot just assume someone's not going to be friendly purely off their facial expression alone. Trust me, your job is to go and find out and think, I'm curious what kind of thoughts this person is having about themselves, because that is a more likely scenario than her just being an unapproachable human being. Now, don't get me wrong, some people do have bad days. Some people are genuinely shit. That is true, but the majority of girls, if they have a resting bitch face, they're probably far friendlier than you realize. So my friend, don't put these girls on a pedestal. Remember, she is a human, just like you, just like me, just like all of us, and look beyond the beauty when it comes to you making a judgment about this human being, and go and say hello. You'll be very surprised with how different reality is to your assumption. And don't forget, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So make sure to take the shot and go for it, my friend. Anyways, thanks for watching. This is your boy Ben Sterling. And if you want to watch more of our videos, make sure to click like, subscribe, leave a comment, helps us with the algorithm. And if you are looking for coaching, make sure to click the link in the description below to jump on a free consultation call with either myself, Alex, or one of our team members. If you haven't joined our Facebook group yet, make sure to do it. We have tons of content there as well that we aren't able to post on Facebook because of the strong SJW influence when it comes to content moderation. So my friends, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.